What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market did pretty well today. Nice bounce back day as the S&P 500 went up 10 points, up 0.3%. The Dow Jones went up 52 points, up 0.2%. And the NASDAQ went up 63 points, doing the best out of the bunch, up 0.6% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the top stocks that I'm looking to buy as we're getting into the month of October here in 2020. And I also want to share with you guys my thoughts on the market. Yeah, we had a green day today, but we're still seeing a lot of choppiness, a lot of volatility, and there is a chance we could go lower from here. So I want to break down some thoughts there, as well as what I personally did in the stock market today. So if you guys find value, as always, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to join our Strive Smart Discord chat, Strive Smart Facebook group. Those are linked down below in the description box and are free of charge to join. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram at StasSurfS, feel free to follow me there and shoot me a DM if you guys want to chat. If you guys have any questions, that is where you can reach me on Instagram at StasSurfS. So let's get into it here, guys. Starting off with the S&P, and mind you, like I said, It was a rocky day today, despite us seeing a pretty nice close across the markets. I mean, take a look. If we zoom in a bit here on the 5-day, 5-minute, we actually hit a low in this downtrend pattern today, in this downwards pattern that we've been in ever since the beginning of September. Remember yesterday we talked about how 3230 was going to be a big level of support today? Well, take a look. We broke right under 3230 and we hit a low early on today. We gapped down in the markets. We hit a low at 3209. So right off the bat this morning, it was not looking too good. It was not looking too good for the markets, but luckily this dip was bought up. The S&P was able to go from 3209 back above 3230, and we pretty much held that for the rest of the day, 3230. And we actually ran from 3230 all the way up to about 3270, so the markets did see a bit of a push. I mean, 1.5% here on the S&P from 3230 up to the high of the day. But notice where we got rejected. Is it a surprise, guys? We got rejected right at that 180 SMA here on the 5-day, 5-minute chart, right at a lower high, hence the continuation of the downtrend pattern here potentially. And we failed breaking out of 3280. And I believe we talked about this yesterday as well. I said if we hold 3230, guys, today, there's a chance we could see some sort of relief rally, considering yesterday the markets got decimated, right? You guys remember it was a very bad day yesterday. So I said we had a bad day yesterday, maybe we have a relief rally, and that's exactly what we got, right? We got that relief rally up to 3280, and what happened? We got rejected, right? And now we trended all the way down pretty much up until the close of the market, and we actually tested 3230 again with about 30 minutes left in the markets, and that's where we saw a little run up. So that's putting the S&P in a pretty interesting spot. It's arguably range bound at this point, meaning it's trading between 3280 and 3230. I mean, it's not arguably, it is range bound at this point. So tomorrow's going to be huge. You know, do we end up breaking 3230, taking out the lows from earlier today? That would be obviously the continuation of the downtrend. Or do we test the highs from earlier in the day today at 3280, and do we break that? Which, if that happens, that could be another little short-term rally that we see in the markets. You know, if 3280 breaks, we might be going up to test, let's say 3330, which is this next level, this next gap that needs to be filled. So watch out tomorrow. A lot of direction is likely to be picked, and either to the upside or the downside. And watch what happens pre-market. You know, are the futures down heavily? Are they moving up? Are large caps pushing up pre-market? That should kind of give you an idea of where the markets could be going, at least in the morning, the beginning part of the day. So that's the S&P. Watch that little range there that we just talked about. The Dow Jones, if we pull it up, Also got rejected at a pretty big level of resistance today, and it also took out the lows from yesterday and a couple days ago. You guys can see it here on the 5-day, 5-minute. We held 26,700 yesterday and a couple days ago. I believe this might have been Monday. Yeah, it was on Monday. We held 26,700, and today we gapped down. We actually hit 26,500, making that lower low, pretty much continuing the downtrend. But notice if I extend this to the right, just like the S&P, the Dow was able to rebound and hold 26,700 all day and rally a little bit at the end of the day, and it also rallied midday from about 26,700 to about 27,000. So this is going to be huge. If 27,000 remains a resistance, which at this point it is, as we got rejected there, as you guys can see on the 5-day, 5-minute, and if we take out 26,700 on the downside, we might see lower lows in the Dow Jones. We could be going lower, guys. And like I've been saying, I've been using this catchphrase. I mean, it's not my catchphrase, obviously. I've got it from other people, but we're not out of the woods quite yet. We're not out of the woods quite yet, and I'll continue saying that until we are out of the woods. But at this point, the downtrend's intact. I'm being very careful, and since this is not financial advice, well, let's just say you guys should be careful, but it's not financial advice. Of course, guys, this is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence. Always do your own research. So watch out, 26,700 on the bottom side, 27,000 on the top side. We're moving in this little range right now on the Dow. And the NASDAQ, let's pull it up. Same thing with the NASDAQ. We're trading in this range, 10,600, 700 on the bottom side, top side resistance being around 11,000. So it's in a little 300-point window. And if we zoom in a bit here on the 5-day, 5-minute, you guys can see we got hit at 11,000 earlier today, got rejected, sold off about 100, 150 points. That's not too good for the bulls, right? Very similar to what happened with the Dow and the S&P. It seems like we could be going lower, right? And on this hourly chart, if I pull it up, take a look. We got rejected right at that 50 SMA. So for tomorrow, watch for maybe a gap down at 10,700. If that breaks, we might be seeing lower lows. We might be going down, let's say on this 4-hour chart, you guys can see it, maybe down to 10,400, which is another level we've been talking about here on the NASDAQ. So at this point, let's run through how much these indexes have fallen from their peaks. The NASDAQ is currently down about 12%, so that's putting it in correction territory. The Dow Jones, I don't think it's down over 10%. Let's take a look. It's down about 8% from its peak about 3 weeks ago, but mind you, that's not the all-time high. So if we go to the all-time high on the Dow Jones, we're down just under 10%. So it's almost in correction territory. And the S&P 500, I believe, is right on the cusp as well. Let's pull it up here, SPX. S&P 500 is down about... Yeah, it's right on the cusp, right around 9.3% down from its all-time high just about 3 weeks ago. So the markets are getting into healthy level territory of a pull down. I've been saying this, guys, and I could see it go down further, maybe another couple percentage points, but I don't think it's going to get as ugly as it was back in the beginning of the crisis, right? We had a good reason back then for the markets to drop. A lot of people were freaking out. A lot of people were just flooding into cash, selling assets, because cash is a safe haven, right? Cash is something that you can obviously do a lot with. You have options, so people were selling their stocks, everything going to cash, which is what caused this massive 30% drop. So I don't think we're going to go down 30% from here, and I'm sure many of you guys will agree with me. If not, all of you guys will agree with me there. But I wouldn't be surprised, let's say, again, we're down about 10% on the S&P. If we fell another 3 to 5%, making it about a 15% correction, that would not surprise me whatsoever. And I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments. And one thing I almost forgot to mention, jobless claims. They come out every Thursday, if you guys didn't know that. And the Labor Department reported today that initial jobless claims for the week ending September 19th came in at 870,000. Economists actually polled by the Dow Jones expected first-time claims to come in at 850,000, down slightly from the 860,000 claims reported for the previous week. So it missed expectations there a bit. You could argue that's maybe why the markets sold off this morning pretty aggressively before rebounding pretty quickly, into the rest of the day. You could argue that, but either way, we had a green day in the markets despite the jobless claims being a little bit worse than expected. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Where do you think the markets are going? What are you doing? Are you mostly cash? Are you mostly in the markets? Me, and we'll get into this in a little bit. Well, actually right now, I'm pretty much like 45% cash, 40% cash in my main trading account. And that's just putting me in a comfortable spot right now, considering all the volatility and considering the fact that we could go lower. I feel like having that cash, like I said 2 minutes ago, is a safe haven. And I feel it's a safe haven for myself, and you guys will agree with me there as well. So what did I do today? I just day traded one stock. And you guys in the Discord chat, link down below. Again, it's free of charge to join. I talked about this. It's DPHC. This is also known as Diamond Peak Holdings, which is looking to take Lordstown Motors public, right? That's one of the interesting up-and-coming electric vehicle players right now. And if we take a look on this hourly chart, this stock's gone from $32. It was arguably very overbought there, and it sold off immensely from 32 down to 20. That's a sell-off of about 35%. And for me, guys, I was looking at it this morning, and I was saying to myself, this is extremely oversold. I mean, this is extremely oversold, and the ideology behind this move was to get in on some sort of relief rally play, kind of a bounce back play. And it actually ended up panning out perfectly. I mean, we got extremely low, even under $20. We were down to $18.50. I wish I picked up shares there, but you can't always get what you want, guys, especially in the markets, But I ended up picking up shares at $22.57. So a bit later in this rally, so I missed the bulk of the move, but the truth is, I got in. Let's take a look here on the daily chart. I believe I got in. It was right around here, so I held through some pain. I arguably made a bad move initially. Being honest with myself, this might have been a bit rushed at about $22.50 where I got in, and again I held through some pain, but I didn't go in too heavily, so I was able to hold through about a 6, 7, 8% initial loss there. I didn't set a stop loss, and I got a lot of questions about stop losses, guys. For me, I don't really set stop losses the traditional way. What I use is a mental stop loss, and this is what you can use when you're more of an experienced trader. I don't recommend beginners use mental stop losses because you can let a trade run away from you, and your emotions will jack you up. But for me, I try and trade, and I do trade without emotions. So for me, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna let this ride a little bit. I'm not in with a huge amount, so it's a small portion of my portfolio, and we're going to see what it does, right? It's oversold. It's down about 36%, like I said, and I had a mental stop on it, which allowed me to really make a good move on this at the end of the day because I ended up profiting about 6%. And think about it. If I had a stop loss, I would have gotten cut out right around here at about 22. It would have went down, but then I would have missed the move to the upside, right? So it's a tricky game. If you're a beginner, yeah, you stop losses for sure the traditional way by actually setting it in your brokerage account. But if you're more advanced, right, you're more intermediate, I would recommend, and again, this is not financial advice, I would say it's not that bad of an idea to use mental stop losses. I use them all the time, especially for swing trading. And, day trading sometimes is different, but in this situation with my day trade, I did not put a traditional stop loss. But anyway, enough with the stop losses. I got in at 22.50, rode the weakness there, and I ended up getting out at 23.74, guys. So I missed the sell at 24.60. We sold off a bit. Arguably, I got a little greedy there, but then I got out on the second pump, right? We sold off. We held the uptrend here on the intraday chart, and I got off out of the stock on the second pump. I believe it might have been actually here at about 23.70, 23.75. So overall, the move, if I show you all, was around, you guys can see it's about 6%, right? Yeah, it's a little bit under 6%. So I'm very happy with that on DPHC. And overall, guys, I think this does have opportunity even tomorrow and the next couple of days for sure as well. As we still are down a good chunk, this could even be a swing trade. And heck, I might even pick up some shares tomorrow if it goes down even lower. Let's say it goes under $20. I'll probably pick up a good chunk of shares as a swing trade at that point. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty much all I did in terms of a new play today. But I'm still holding on to my workhorse shares, which I got in initially at $23. I trimmed some profits at $25. That was like 10 days ago. I don't even remember what day that was, but I trimmed some profits, saw it run up to $30, $31, did not take profits there, and I saw it come all the way back down. And I ended up adding more yesterday at $25 on a limit order, which I'm down on those shares. But ultimately, guys, I'm looking at this as an opportunity, and I'm holding on strong. I'm not looking to panic sell. And we talked about this with Workhorse, right? We called out how $20 is going to be a pretty strong support, and it could be the next spot where we see a bit of consolidation on Workhorse before the next move up. And if we do see that consolidation, that is where I'm looking to really just add more shares into my position, anywhere from, let's say, $20, $21, $22, $23, that general area. So I'm in Workhorse. I'm also still in Apple, AAPL. Didn't add more of this one. Didn't sell any either. I'm just holding on to my position in the mid 110s. And I'm also still in Amazon, which I'm in at about $3,010. So I'm slightly green on this position. And I might buy more if it ends up going under $3,000 tomorrow or next week. We'll see what ends up happening. But overall, I'm very bullish on Apple, Amazon, Workhorse as well, which is why I'm holding on to these stocks at this point. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? As always, I would love to know your opinions. Now, let's go over some other stocks that I'm looking to buy that I think are pretty attractive, starting with number one here, which is Fedex, ticker symbol FDX. This is one that is holding 240. Actually, it had a solid green day today, up over 1%. Up about $3, and they kicked. I was about to cuss, guys. They kicked earnings. You know what? And the stock went from 230 to 260. It pulled down. It's holding that 50 SMA, and you guys can see there's still a chunk of it to go back up to 261, about 7% potential there on the stock. And overall, I'm just liking how it's holding the uptrend, and just the reason that it had two straight just incredible earnings reports. So for me, guys, I'm still bullish on FedEx, believe it or not, despite the fact that it ran up so much already this year. I think it could go higher. I mean, we've pulled up the 3-year chart before. You guys should know this. The stock was at 275 just about 2 years ago. A little bit more like a year and like 8 months ago, it was at about 275. So I could see it make a 30-point move from where it is now to 275. I think that's pretty possible. So I'm watching FedEx here on the weakness as a potential dip buy, and Nike as well. And you'll notice I'm focusing on stocks here that are still uptrending. And most of these stocks, well, that's actually wrong. Not most of them, but some of these stocks are still technically uptrending above moving averages and so forth, unlike some of these big tech stocks, right? You notice FedEx is still uptrending, Nike is still uptrending, and the reason is because mostly those earnings reports, right? It's crazy. Strong earnings reports and just strong investor confidence in times of weakness sometimes holds up individual stocks over the markets, and FedEx and Nike are definitely two examples of that right now. I mean, Nike just reported earnings, I think 2 days ago. They did very well in terms of digital sales. They beat EPS revenue. They're growing year over year. And the stock went up from about $113 to $134. Now it's pulling down about $10 to the mid 120s. So I'm interested in Nike anywhere from 120 maybe to 122, 124 even. Let's see if that holds tomorrow. That could be an interesting entry point on this stock. And Upwork is another one that I like, UPWK, which actually broke $16, which is a big resistance we've been talking about. It didn't break it today, but yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago, let me double check for you guys. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, we saw a big pop above $16. Very bullish move there, but we didn't hold 16. We actually broke under it, sold off aggressively today down to the high 14. So Upwork is volatile, man. This is a very volatile stock, so be careful. But ultimately, I think the direction overall, the momentum is more shifted to the upside than to the downside. But that's just me, right? I'd love to know what you guys have to think in the comments, but that's just my honest opinion. And tomorrow, this is definitely at the top of my buy list, maybe even over Nike. I'd say FedEx and Upwork are my favorite two for tomorrow. We'll just see what happens, and maybe even you can throw DPHC in that one as well as a potential swing trade. So those are a couple. Walmart is another one here, WMT, which has really been holding on to 130, the mid 130s like a rock. I'm really liking this level of support here on Walmart. You guys can see it on the 5-day, 5-minute. We've held it the past couple of days on the 10-day, 30-minute. We've held it pretty much all of the past 10 days. So I'm thinking sooner or later, we're going to see a massive move in Walmart. I think it's going to pop up, and you can't always time it, but what you can do if you are a bit more, risky, you could end up buying in maybe before it makes the move, right? So let's say tomorrow we sell off or consolidate at 135. Yeah, maybe on a technical basis, it didn't break out quite yet, but you could end up adding a little bit of a position there, maybe 10, 20%. And if it breaks out, you can just average up into the momentum. So that's an opportunity, I think, that could be a play with Walmart. I'm really interested in this particular stock right now. And a couple of other ones. We had Square today do pretty decent, up 2%, up $2.72. We're seeing a bit of a triple top at 158. You guys saw it rally there yesterday and today at some point. It did earlier on in the day. And even earlier, guys, before it hit 171, 158, 160 was a big level of resistance. So watch out. I mean, the second Square, it's that type of stock. The second Square rallies out of 160. I think it could go up to 170 in the snap of a finger, which is about a 7% move. So watch out for Square on this particular pattern here. It's looking like a wedge as well. So it's squeezing itself into the high 150s, and it could end up exploding out of there. And Tesla, TSLA, guys, up 2% today. It was at about 400 earlier. Was it over 400? I don't even remember. It almost went over 400. That's right. It was at 399. It almost hit 400. But you guys see the double top sell-off here into the close on the intraday. So Tesla's interesting, and if you guys want to see my battery day video, I'll link it down below in the description box. Go check it out. But at this point, it seems like bidders are trying to push up the stock above 380, 375, above this main moving average here on the 4-hour chart, which is a good sign. But for me, guys, I'm not looking to jump into Tesla right now. I already have a position. I'm kind of just letting it ride. We have earnings coming up, which could fluctuate things within the next 3 to 4 weeks. So for me, I think it's going to be volatile. I'm just staying out of it for now, just holding on to the shares that I personally already own. So EA is the last one, Electronic Arts, which I think, well, I should have put this in the beginning of the stock section of this video, because this one might be one of my favorite ones right now because of this big sell-off we're seeing, and because, and mind you, that sell-off is 13%, and because of all of these new next-gen systems coming, right? And EA obviously makes a lot of video games that are going to be played on those systems, so I think they're going to do well. Same with Activision Blizzard, but at this point, between those two, I think EA is a bit more attractive on a technical basis. That's just me, though. We could argue that in the comments, but at this point, I think if EA is able to break 130, I think we could make a move back up to the 140s, no doubt about it, especially with the hype of these next generation, gaming systems, the games, and so forth. There could be 6 to 10% upside here on Electronic Arts stock, ticker symbol EA. So overall, that's it for the video, and let's run through the stocks that I mentioned today so you guys can write them down and be ready for tomorrow. We talked about DPHC, Workhorse Group, Apple, Amazon, FedEx, Nike, Upwork, Walmart, Square, Tesla, and EA. So that's it. If you guys found value in the video, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to claim your free stock from Webull if you guys want to. It's valued up to $1,600. Link down below. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you get a free stock, and I also get a free stock valued up to $1,600. And while you're at it, join our Discord chat, our Facebook group. Those are free of charge as well. And follow me on Instagram for daily updates at StasSurfS, all one, at StasSurfS. Follow me there. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, take it easy. Be safe. That's very important in these times. Thanks for watching again. Peace out.